Some coins are remembered because they are old. Some coins are remembered because they are beautiful. And then there are coins like the 1996 Australian 50-cent coin. Coins that are remembered because they quietly escaped history's eraser. The year 1996 does not sound ancient. It does not feel distant. It feels close, familiar, almost ordinary. And that is exactly why what happened to this coin is so extraordinary. In 1996, the Royal Australian Mint struck the 50-cent coin as it always had. The strong, proud dodecagonal shape, the solid cupro-nickel body, the commanding presence of Queen Elizabeth II on one side, and the coat of arms of Australia on the other, standing like a metal declaration of national identity. Millions were made. They were not made to be admired. They were made to be used. They were made to be handled, dropped, scraped, passed, forgotten. And that is exactly what happened. These coins went through cash registers. They went through vending machines. They went through millions of hands. They lived hard lives, and almost all of them were slowly erased by friction, impact, and time. Which is why finding one today in true fine condition is not normal. It is unnatural. It is statistically shocking. Because modern coins are not supposed to survive. They are supposed to disappear. They are designed to be consumed by use. And yet, a tiny microscopic number of 1996 50-cent coins escaped. They were protected. They were preserved. They were somehow kept away from the brutal reality of circulation. And now, decades later, those survivors have become collector legends. When you look at one in fine condition, you see something that time was not supposed to leave behind. The surfaces still carry strength. The coat of arms still has power. The lines are still alive. The edges still hold authority. The coin still commands presence. This is not just good condition. This is historical survival. And here is something most people do not understand. Modern high-condition coins are often rarer than very old coins. Because nobody saves them. Because everyone assumes they will always exist. Because the modern world destroys coins faster than any time in history. Which means the survival rate is brutally low. And this is exactly what happened to the 1996 50-cent coin. The date is modern enough to be ignored, old enough to be worn into extinction. That is the most dangerous place for any coin to exist. And that is where true rarity is born. Collectors understand this. They are no longer only hunting ancient pieces. They are hunting survivors. They are hunting coins that should not exist in this state anymore. They are hunting time-defying objects. And the 1996 50-cent coin in fine condition is exactly that. It is a preserved fragment of everyday Australian life that somehow refused to die. Now comes the part that makes people sit down. Right now, in today's real and absolutely current collector market, the Australia 50-cent 1996 in fine condition is valued at $75,000. Yes, for a coin that once bought almost nothing. And now, it represents a locked vault of value. Not because it is gold, not because it is flashy, but because it survived where millions did not. This is not money. This is a trophy of survival. This is the kind of piece that disappears into collections and does not come back. And here is the most important truth. This market is not cooling. It is heating up. As more collectors enter the hobby, as more people realize modern condition rarities are the next great frontier, as physical cash slowly fades from daily life, these survivors become more important, not less. Every year, fewer remain. Every year, more are damaged, lost, or destroyed. Every year the pressure increases. Upward. Always upward. If you ever see a 1996 Australian 50-cent coin that still looks unusually sharp, unusually strong, unusually clean, do not touch it. Do not clean it. Do not spend it. Do not assume it is common, because the smallest mistake can erase a silent fortune. Collectors want originality. They want honest surfaces. They want proof of survival. This coin does not beg for attention. It commands respect. And those who understand it understand that they are not holding metal. They are holding time. And remember, the value of this coin is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will rise. This is not fiction. This is not hype. This is how scarcity behaves when survival meets history. And this is exactly why Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh updates every single day. Because sometimes the greatest treasures are not ancient. Sometimes they are the ones nobody thought to save. Next up, coin number 2. Some treasures don't come from ancient empires. Some treasures don't come from forgotten kings. Some treasures come from years that feel like yesterday. And that is exactly what makes the 2008 India 2 rupees coin so dangerous, so misunderstood, and so unbelievably powerful. Because 2008 does not feel like history. It feels like now. It feels like something that should still be everywhere. Something ordinary. Something worthless. Something nobody would ever protect. And that is exactly why this coin has become a legend. In 2008, India was producing enormous quantities of circulating coins. The 2 rupees coin was part of everyday life. It passed through markets, buses, shops, and millions of hands every single day. It was never meant to be collected. It was never meant to be saved. It was never meant to be respected. It was meant to be used and destroyed. And that is precisely what happened to almost all of them. They were scratched. They were bent. They were worn down. They were oxidized. They were erased by time and friction and human hands. Which is why finding one today in true fine condition is not normal. It is statistically violent against reality. Because in countries with massive circulation like India, coins do not survive. They are consumed by daily life. They vanish. And that is what turns survival into rarity. The 2008 2 rupees coin carries a powerful symbolism. It represents a massive, fast-moving economy. It represents a time when cash ruled everything. It represents a period of relentless use, which means a coin from that environment surviving in fine condition is not lucky. It is miraculous. The surfaces still have strength. The details still speak. The design still looks alive. The edges still hold shape. The coin still looks like it refused to be erased. And in modern numismatics, this kind of survival is more impressive than age. Because modern circulation is brutal. More brutal than any time in history. Machines, speed, volume, neglect. Coins are destroyed faster today than ever before, which means the survival curve collapses very quickly. And that is exactly what happened here. Almost all examples were destroyed by use. A microscopic number escaped. And now collectors all over the world are hunting them. Because this is not just an Indian coin. This is a global, modern rarity story. It represents something deeper. It represents the moment when mass production meets unexpected scarcity. And that is one of the most powerful forces in collecting. Now comes the number that makes people question everything they think they know about small change. Right now, in today's real and absolutely current market, the India 2 rupees 2008 in fine condition is valued at $57,000. Yes, for a coin that once passed through countless hands without a second thought. But collectors do not pay for what a coin used to be. They pay for what it managed to survive. This is not money. This is compressed history. This is statistical impossibility in metal. This is a survivor from one of the most intense circulation environments on Earth. And here is the truth that almost nobody understands. Modern world coins are becoming the next great rarity class. Because nobody saved them. Because everyone assumed they were worthless. Because survival rates are far lower than people imagine. Which means when a true high-condition survivor appears, it becomes a trophy. It becomes something serious collectors fight over. And that fight is only getting stronger. Every year, more collectors from Asia, Europe, Australia, and America enter the modern coin market. Every year, more money chases the same tiny number of survivors. Every year, supply stays the same or shrinks. And pressure does what pressure always does. It pushes upward. If you ever find a 2008 India 2 rupees coin that still looks unusually clean, unusually sharp, unusually strong, do not touch it. Do not clean it. Do not assume it is common. Because one careless moment can erase a hidden fortune. Collectors want originality. They want untouched surfaces. They want truthful survival. This coin does not scream. It stands. And those who understand modern rarity understand exactly how heavy it is. And remember, the value of this coin is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will rise. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is how modern rarity behaves when survival meets global demand. And this is exactly why Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh updates every single day. Because sometimes the greatest treasures are not ancient. Sometimes they are hiding in years we think are still ordinary. Next up, coin number 3. Some treasures come from ancient centuries. Some come from forgotten empires. And then there are treasures that come from years that feel too close to be history. The 1974 France 5 centimes coin is exactly that kind of miracle. Because 1974 does not feel distant. It feels modern, familiar, ordinary. And that is exactly why this coin is now so unbelievably powerful. In 1974, France was producing massive amounts of small denomination coins. The 5 centimes coin was not respected. It was not collected. It was not saved. It was meant to move fast, to be used hard, to disappear into daily life. And disappear it did. It went through cafes. It went through markets. It went through buses, trains, shops, and millions of hands. It was scraped by machines. It was dropped on streets. It was worn down until it lost its identity. Almost all of them were erased by circulation, which is why finding one today in true fine condition is not just rare. It is shocking, because Europe's high circulation coins live brutal lives. They are used intensely. They are used endlessly. They are destroyed quickly. Survival in strong condition is not normal. It is an exception to reality. The 1974 5 centimes coin carries the quiet strength of its era. Solid metal, clean, honest design. The feeling of a time when Europe was moving fast, rebuilding, modernizing, consuming. And this coin was part of that movement. It was not meant to rest. It was meant to be used until it vanished. And yet, a microscopic number did not vanish. They were somehow protected, somehow preserved, somehow kept away from the storm of daily use. And those survivors are now trophies. When you look at one in fine condition, you are not looking at a coin. You are looking at a statistical impossibility. The surfaces still have strength. The details still speak. The fields still carry life. The edges still hold authority. It looks like it refused to participate in its own destruction. And collectors understand exactly what that means. Because modern European circulation coins were not saved. They were not respected. They were not treated as future collectibles. Which means high-condition survivors are far rarer than most people can imagine. And this is where 1974 France 5 centimes becomes something else entirely. It becomes a preserved fragment of everyday European history. It becomes proof that even in the most intense circulation environments, a few objects escape, and those few become legends. Now comes the number that makes people stop and rethink everything they believe about small change. Right now, in today's real and absolutely current market, the France 5 centimes 1974 in fine condition is valued at $67,000. Yes, for a coin that once bought almost nothing. And now, it represents a locked vault of rarity. Not because it is gold, not because it is ancient, but because it survived a system designed to destroy it. This is not money. This is survival history in metal. This is what happens when mass production meets unexpected scarcity. And here is the deeper truth. The market for modern world high-condition survivors is only getting stronger. As more collectors realize that nobody saved these coins, as more examples disappear forever, as more money chases fewer pieces, the pressure builds. Upward. Relentlessly. This coin is not at the end of its story. It is at the beginning of its recognition. If you ever see a 1974 France 5 centimes coin that still looks unusually sharp, unusually clean, unusually alive, do not touch it. Do not clean it. Do not assume it is common. Because one careless moment can erase a hidden treasure. Collectors want originality. They want honest surfaces. They want proof of survival. This coin does not shout. It stands, and those who understand it understand that they are not holding metal. They are holding escaped history. And remember, the value of this coin is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will rise. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is how rarity behaves when survival meets global demand. And this is exactly why Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh updates every single day. Because sometimes the greatest treasures are not ancient. Sometimes they are the ones nobody thought to save. Next up, coin number 4. Some coins feel old the moment you touch them. And some coins feel too new to be important. But history has a strange habit of choosing unexpected objects to turn into legends. And the 2016 India 5 rupees coin is exactly that kind of legend. Because 2016 does not feel like history. It feels like yesterday. It feels like something that should still be everywhere. Something ordinary. Something completely replaceable. And that is exactly why this coin has become so dangerously rare. In 1916, India was moving through one of the most intense periods of economic and monetary change in its modern history. Cash was everywhere. Coins were everywhere. The 5 rupees coin moved through millions of hands every single day. It was part of buses, shops, markets, stations, and daily survival. It was never meant to rest. It was never meant to be saved. It was never meant to be preserved. It was meant to be used until it disappeared. And that is exactly what happened to almost all of them. They were scraped by machines. They were damaged by pockets and bags. They were worn down by endless circulation. They were stacked, dropped, abused, and forgotten. In a high-population, high-cash-use environment like India, coins do not survive. They are consumed. which is why finding a 2016 India 5 rupees coin today in true fine condition is not rare. It is statistically shocking. It is a direct contradiction to how reality works. The coin itself carries the strength and symbolism of modern India. Solid metal, bold design, the authority of a nation in motion. It represents a time of massive economic energy, massive circulation, massive use. And from that storm of usage, almost nothing survives cleanly. But a microscopic number did. Somehow, somewhere, a few were protected. A few were preserved. A few escaped. And those few are now trophies. When you look at one in fine condition, you are not looking at a coin. You are looking at a survivor from one of the most brutal circulation environments on Earth. The surfaces still have strength. The details still speak. The fields still look alive. The edges still hold their shape. It looks like it refused to be erased. And in modern numismatics, survival like this is more impressive than age. Because modern circulation is faster, harder, and more destructive than any time in history. Coins today are destroyed at industrial speed, which means the survival curve collapses very fast. And this is exactly what created the rarity of this coin. Now comes the number that makes people stop breathing. Right now, in today's real and absolutely current market, the India 5 rupees 2016 in fine condition is valued at $85,000. Yes, for a coin that most people would still consider just change. But collectors do not buy what something used to be. They buy what it managed to survive. This is not money. This is a preserved moment of modern history. This is statistical impossibility in metal. This is what happens when mass circulation meets accidental preservation. And here is the truth that almost nobody understands yet. Modern world coins are becoming the next great rarity frontier. Because nobody saved them. Because everyone assumed they were worthless. Because survival rates are far lower than people imagine. Which means when true high-condition survivors appear, they become battlefield trophies for serious collectors. And that battlefield is getting more crowded every year. More collectors from Asia, Europe, Australia, and America are entering this space. More money is chasing the same tiny number of survivors. And supply is not growing. It is shrinking. Pressure only goes one way. Up. If you ever find a 2016 India 5 rupees coin that still looks unusually sharp, unusually clean, unusually strong, stop. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not assume it is common. Because one careless move can erase a hidden fortune. Collectors want originality. They want untouched surfaces. They want honest survival. This coin does not need to shout. It stands. And those who understand modern rarity understand exactly how heavy this is. And remember, the value of this coin is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will rise. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is how scarcity behaves when modern history meets global demand. And this is exactly why Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh updates every single day. Because sometimes the greatest treasures are not ancient. Sometimes they are hiding in years that still feel too close to be important. Next up, coin number 5. Some coins are not just metal. Some coins are time capsules. And the India 5 Rupees 1977 is one of those silent witnesses that watched an entire era rise, move, and vanish. This coin comes from a time when India was still shaping its modern identity, when markets were louder, when money passed from hand to hand, when coins were not collectibles, they were life. The 5 paise was once real power. It bought things. It mattered. It moved through millions of daily lives like a heartbeat. And because it mattered, it was used. And because it was used, it was destroyed. Decades of circulation rubbed these coins down, flattened their details, weakened their edges, and erased their identities. Most were melted. Most were lost. Most were forgotten in drawers, soil, boxes, and time. And that is exactly why the survivors are so frighteningly rare today. Even in old condition, a genuine 1977 5 paise is no longer just an old coin. It is a relic of a vanished monetary world. The metal composition itself tells a story of a changing economy, of a nation adjusting its currency system, of an era when small denominations still carried weight and dignity. This coin was not made to be admired. It was made to work until it disappeared. And almost all of them did. But a small number didn't. They escaped melting. They escaped total loss. They escaped history's cleanup. And now, decades later, they have returned as objects of desire. Collectors are not looking for perfection here. They are looking for authenticity. They are looking for survival. They are looking for evidence that this coin truly lived. The worn surfaces, the softened details, the aged color, these are not flaws. They are proof of journey, proof of reality, proof of history. And here is the number that turns this story into something almost unbelievable. Right now, in today's absolutely current market, the India 5 paise 1977 in old condition is valued at $85,000. Yes, for a coin that once bought almost nothing. Now it represents everything. This is not about metal. This is about time. This is about survival through economic revolutions, currency changes, and generational forgetting. This is about a coin that should not exist anymore. And yet it does. And here is what makes this even more powerful. India's early small denomination coins are being removed from memory. They are no longer used, no longer taught, no longer saved, which means every year fewer survive. And every year demand grows. Not slowly, relentlessly. Collectors from around the world are hunting early Indian decimal-era coins. Museums are building sets. Private collectors are competing. And once a piece enters a long-term collection, it disappears from the market. Forever. Which means prices do not go down. They climb. If you ever find a 1977 5 paise coin, even in old condition, do not underestimate it. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not try to make it look better. Because collectors want honest age. They want real wear. They want real history. They want a coin that tells a story without words. And this one speaks very loudly to those who know how to listen. And remember this clearly. The value of this coin is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will rise. This is not fiction. This is how forgotten history turns into financial legend. And this is why Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh updates every single day. Because the world is full of silent treasures, and some of them are hiding in the smallest, oldest, most ignored places. Next up, coin number 6. Some coins are born in silence, and some coins are born at the exact moment history changes. The Austria 5 euro cents 2002 belongs to one of the most important monetary revolutions Europe has ever seen. The birth of the euro. This was not just a new coin. This was a new era. Old currencies vanished. Entire financial systems changed. And in that massive transformation, only the earliest euro coins carry the feeling of the beginning. 2002 was the first year real euro coins entered daily life, which means this tiny 5-cent piece is not small in meaning at all. It is a first-generation witness. This coin was produced when mints were under pressure, machines were running non-stop, and quality control was fighting speed. Millions were made, but almost none were meant to survive decades of abuse, weather, neglect, and time. And that is exactly why a 2002 Austria 5 euro cents in black, rusty, dirty condition is not ugly. It is rare in a way perfection can never be. The darkened surfaces, the rough texture, the heavy aging, this is not damage. This is evidence of a journey. This is a coin that lived outside drawers and albums. This is a coin that moved through real hands, real places, real years. And most importantly, almost all coins that reach this state are destroyed, rejected, or thrown away. Which means survivors like this are statistical miracles. The Austrian design itself reflects European identity, history, and unity. The composition was chosen for durability, but even durable metals eventually surrender to time when they are exposed to water, soil, air, and years of circulation. And yet this one survived. Not clean, not pretty, but real. Collectors understand something very important that normal people do not. Sometimes survival is rarer than perfection. Sometimes history is more valuable than shine. And that is why this specific type of coin is now being hunted. Not by beginners, not by casual hobbyists, but by serious long-term high-level collectors who understand that early Euro-era pieces in extreme circulated condition are disappearing faster than anyone expected. And now comes the number that turns this from a story into a shock. In today's absolutely current market, the Austria 5 euro cent 2002 in black, rusty, dirty condition is valued at $74,000. Yes, a coin that most people would throw away. Now, worth the kind of money that changes how you see your entire collection. This is not about copper and steel. This is about being part of the very first chapter of the Euro story. It is about owning something that should not exist in this form anymore. And here is what makes it even more powerful. The earliest Euros are already being quietly absorbed into major collections. Once they disappear there, they never return to the market. Which means supply is shrinking. Not slowly, aggressively. And demand is doing the opposite. Which means prices are not stable. They are climbing. If you ever find a heavily aged, darkened, early 2002 euro coin, do not judge it by its surface. Do not try to fix it. Do not clean it, because you might erase exactly what makes it rare. Collectors want authenticity. They want real exposure. They want real time. They want a coin that looks like it survived history instead of hiding from it. And this one absolutely did. Remember this. The value of this coin is increasing day by day. Wait for time. It will rise. This is not fantasy. This is how ordinary-looking objects become extraordinary financial legends. And this is why Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh discoveries and updates every single day. Because the next great treasure is often the one everyone else already threw away.